What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Cafe and Views. On today's episode, we're going to Cafecito Organico to try out their iced vanilla latte. Let's see if it holds up to other iced vanilla lattes or if it falls short like the other ones that we reviewed. Stick around to see the full review. Let's go. When I first got to Cafecito Organico, it's a nice little corner store. It's kind of on the street, but when you're driving, there's no big signs that really tell you, hey, this is a coffee shop, come get your coffee. There is a place where you can sit down and enjoy the coffee. There's a nice little lounge on the outside. So if it's a nice day like this, you could sit down on your computer or on your phone, get some work done. It comes with complimentary Wi-Fi, so that's also a plus. Like, in terms of uniqueness, this coffee shop is kind of unique just because of the layout and how you can sit outside, but it kind of looks like it's inside, and there's a nice little window that you can order from. It's kind of more of an outdoorsy cafe. Today we went to Cafecito Organico and got their vanilla latte. When I went there, I wanted the more sweet coffee that they had, so she recommended me the vanilla latte. There's not too many to choose from, but there are variations of the coffees. Like cappuccino has a lot of varieties, macchiatos has a different variety. Let's take the first sip and see how sweet the vanilla latte is. I'm not really getting that prominent vanilla note like other coffees would. All the vanilla lattes that I've had are pretty either watered down or there's not much vanilla extract that goes into it. Sadly, it's kind of ruining my vanilla latte experience. Unlike other coffees, I'm not getting any real fruity notes. The Malibu latte had citrus in it, but I'm not really getting any blueberries or citrus or any prominent fruit note. I really wanted this coffee to be sweet, not super sweet, but I wanted it to be sweet enough that it beat out the other coffees that we've had. The coffee is real simple. It kind of tastes as if you were making the coffee at home. You need it to be out the door pretty quickly, so you just whipped up this coffee in about 5 minutes. Drinking this coffee, it doesn't taste as if it was brewed long term, or it doesn't taste as if it has a complex brew. It tastes as if it was a simple brew. If you're in a rush, if you're trying to leave the house, if you overslept and you grab this coffee, you wouldn't be disappointed. It's just not the best coffee if you want to unwind and relax. I would put this coffee more on the sour spectrum. Fortunately, for acidity, I'm gonna have to give it a 2 out of 5. The vanilla comes out much more in the aroma than it does in the flavor. When I put my nose up against the coffee, I can get a real large hint of vanilla and other ingredients. A real pleasant smell. This coffee was brewing in the morning and you were just waking up and you woke up because of the scent of this coffee, you would be pleasantly happy. You would wake up and want to get your day started. That's how good the smell of this coffee is. It's just that nice vanilla holiday vibe that you would get from it. For my personal preference, it would be a lot nicer if it had a little bit of cinnamon just to complete that December, January vibe. It is attracting me for more. Obviously, like I mentioned, it would wake you up in the morning, so you would want to get out of bed and go immediately either to your coffee or get ready and then have your coffee still be hot in the pot. It kind of smells like a chocolate bar mixed with vanilla. I don't have to get real close to smell the goodness of the coffee. Aroma, I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. The aroma does enhance the flavor. It does give it more of a vanilla experience. It doesn't affect the taste buds too much. Vanilla in the coffee doesn't enhance the overall taste of it, but vanilla in the aroma does enhance the experience, not the flavor, but the experience. This coffee is pretty balanced. This is the kind of coffee that you would want to be unbalanced. You would want the vanilla note to be real prominent and kind of hit you in the face. It's not forgettable in terms of aroma, but you're not gonna drink this coffee and remember it a week or 2 weeks after. You're gonna remember other coffees that you've had in the past that really enhance the flavor and the aroma and all the experiences together. For flavor, I'm gonna give this coffee about 2.5 out of 5. The again, with the body, when I'm drinking the coffee, it kind of just glides through my mouth when it goes down. There's nothing that stays on my taste buds or coats my mouth. For the first time, I'm getting a coffee that has a water consistency to it. There's not much weight or volume to it. I'm sure that's why the flavor is so minimal, is because the coffee is not heavy, doesn't rest on the tongue, doesn't get trapped in the taste buds. So this coffee is good in terms of if you don't want anything lingering around, if you just want to get that caffeine kick or that taste of just a coffee, this coffee would do that. It's good if you're on a date, nothing lingers around. It's just a quick coffee and your date is not gonna smell your breath and be like, oh, you got coffee breath. For body, I'm gonna give this coffee about a 2 out of 5. I really wanted this coffee to be sweet. That's why I chose it. I could have chosen a cappuccino or a frappuccino or a macchiato, but I wanted the sweeter coffee that they had, and unfortunately, I'm kind of disappointed that the vanilla latte underperformed in terms of sweetness. I like the flavor, but the flavor could have got bumped up to maybe a 4 out of 5 if the vanilla note was more prominent. I'm gonna give this coffee about a 1.5 out of 5 in terms of sweetness. I mentioned a little bit of the aftertaste where it doesn't hug your mouth, it just kind of glided right off. It didn't stick, it just went straight down your throat. You kind of get a dry mouth more than a wet mouth because that coffee doesn't stick around. Coffee pretty much dissipates quickly. The coffee being small is good enough to what this coffee does. For aftertaste, I'm gonna give this coffee a 2 out of 5. I'm gonna skip over forgiveness, not really talk about it too much, just because, you know, what I mentioned in the coffee, it's not gonna forgive any other points that I took off. It is what it is. Everything that I gave the coffee or mentioned. For forgiveness, I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 5. For versatility, because this coffee is not so complex and it's not over the top and it doesn't hit you in your mouth, I would say that this coffee is pretty versatile. It's perfect for the wintertime mornings when you want that vanilla smell and you want to be woken up in a good way. You could pick this coffee up in the afternoon, and then at night, because it's not so heavy on caffeine and it's not heavy coffee and the ice waters down the coffee in a big way, you could also drink this at night and it won't keep you up for hours on end. For versatility, I'm gonna give this coffee a 4 out of 5. It's not complex. The vanilla latte, so there's not much that really goes into the coffee. It's just the coffee beans, the vanilla extract, and then any kind of milk of your choice. And then again, when you got the coffee, it was all pre-mixed, so you just got that normal one-tone coffee look, as if you would just put a creamer into the coffee. So the looks is not complex, the flavoring is not complex, and the aroma is not complex. All throughout the coffee, you're gonna get the same kind of experience from the beginning, middle, and the end. Nothing changes in any point throughout the process. You get the same taste and aroma from when you first go into taking a sip to when you swallow and the coffee is dissipated. It's the same process all throughout. For complexity, I'm gonna give it a 2.5 out of 5. Aside from being more sour than sweet, the coffee is pretty balanced. I would put this coffee at about a 3 out of 5 all throughout, because it's really balanced and everything in this coffee is real put together. Nothing is real prominent. For balance, I'm gonna give this coffee a 3.5 out of 5. So for the vanilla latte, I'm giving it a 24.5 out of 50, or 49% out of 100. In terms of the scale, the coffee does not perform, and you could say that it failed, but it failed trying to be the perfect coffee. This coffee, for being so simple, it does a really good job. Like I mentioned, the other vanilla latte, it didn't get as big of a score, but that's because it was such a simply made coffee and it was so simple that it did its job. But in terms of being like a gold medalist in Olympics, it wasn't that. You know, it qualified, but it didn't get a gold medal. So you could still be proud of this coffee and what it did in terms of being an iced vanilla latte. But when you take into account all 10 characteristics, it did not pass all of them. Grab this coffee if you just want a simple coffee in a rush and you don't want the coffee to be remembered, 30 minutes after you drink it. If you just want a quick drink and forget, definitely get the iced vanilla latte from Cafecito Organico. You won't be disappointed. It's a good coffee for being an iced vanilla latte. Thank you so much for watching Cafe and Views. Today's episode, we went to Cafecito Organico and got their iced vanilla latte. It didn't meet my expectations, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't go and check it out. Make sure you go and get the iced vanilla latte to see for yourself. And thank you so much for watching all 9 episodes, Cafe and Views Season 1. Make sure you stick around for Season 2, where we go to West Hollywood and check out their less reviewed coffee shops. Keep sticking around for more. Peace.